Just going to say it. Most of the motivational advice that is out there is basic AF. And then what happens is you go to implement it and it doesn't work. And then it creates more shame and more guilt and more self-judgment. It's like, what's wrong with me? This professional athlete does this. This super wealthy person does this. Famous person does this. Yet it's not working for me. So I must be inherently flawed. You're not inherently flawed. You've just not been given advice by someone who is as crazy and maybe messed up in the brain as you, someone who really gets what it's like to have a wild mind, procrastinate, have trauma, have PTSD, have a million different things going on, basically from someone who's whack. And you are going to get that today as part of my new series, Rich People's Best Kept Secrets. I promise you, this will be motivational advice that you've never heard before that will change your life.
If you're tired of hearing the same old basic mindset and motivational fluff talk, you've come to the right show. Welcome to Project Me with Tiffany Carter, the podcast, where we dish on everything from managing that crazy brain of yours to manifesting abundance to my straightforward, actionable steps that will make you major money online. Now, I'm not your typical multi-millionaire entrepreneur. It takes a small village to keep my anxiety and depression in check. I'm inherently disorganized with an intense obsession with office supplies. Your girl here is a digital marketing content expert who's generated over $200 million in sales. I promise by tuning in twice a week, you will get a much needed refreshing dose of truth, clarity, and cash-making advice. Now let's get to it.
What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is the show that is going to help you grow your business, your bank account, that big, beautiful brain of yours, your abundance, your relationships, and everything in between. Well, we're lucky I even have my voice. I just wrapped up my incredible 2-day in-person Abundance League Business Mastermind event here at my beach house. Wow. I haven't even processed how amazing it is. And I am going to put together an episode because there were some key breakthroughs that I know will absolutely resonate with you. And there is nothing more profound than seeing that happen in person. Like, imagine all of the goodness, all of the support, all of the feelings, all of the things that you get from listening to the show. If you're watching here on YouTube, ProjectME TV on YouTube, by the way, you definitely want to subscribe to that regardless. If you're someone who does a better job at being able to pay attention and absorb information, kind of by like multitasking, you can watch me and then type in the comments as the show is going. So it feels like a two-way conversation. This is actually medically proven that it helps things sink in further and sink into your memory deeper when you do that. So you can go find it. The link is also in the show notes. But I'm going to create an episode on it because there's some whack stuff that happened that it deserves its own episode. So incredible. And I want to share it with you for those of you who weren't able to go, or you found me after the fact and we were already sold out. So let's discuss this motivation thing. I even get a little cringy when I hear someone talking about motivation, the words thrown in somewhere. I see it on a book title because I instantly go, this is going to be some of that same old shit. And that is the last thing when I started this podcast that I would ever want to deliver to you is anything that's basic. That doesn't mean that everything I share with you is some profound revolutionary thing, but at least the take on it is fresh. At least the discussion around it is unique, or at least it's more raw and honest. Like, aren't you sick of all that just basic fluff talk? It's exhausting. And I can't believe people are still doing that. Seriously, like, not approved, definitely not approved by me. So I thought it would be great to use in real time an example. You can hear it in my voice. I'm tired, but not like exhausted in a bad way. You can be tired from good things. You could be tired from a vacation. I'm tired from having this incredible experience here and doing tons of speaking and tons of coaching and tons of holding space and tons of tears and tons of dancing and tons of fun. And then I had a 10-hour photo and content shoot, which is also very fun, but very, very taxing. There may or may not have also been plenty of cocktails flowing as well. So we have that too. And we had a giant charcuterie board. It's not like I've been eating my best. Did I really want to? Not even did. I haven't gone yet. After I'm done with this, I have a workout. If I didn't set things up in such a way to get myself to show up for this workout, I absolutely wouldn't go. Not only wouldn't I go, I wouldn't have gone for days because we are naturally wired to be lazy. It's actually a form, it's interesting. It's a form of self-protection and self-preservation. So I first want you to acknowledge, instead of taking that motherfucking bat out and beating yourself up, I didn't get this done. I didn't do that. I didn't work out. I didn't follow through. I didn't eat kale. Instead, I ate fries. I didn't clean out the closet. I didn't do this. That doesn't help you. That only beats you down further and actually diminishes your energy even more. So we're stopping this. Instead, I want you to go, okay, I see what you're doing, body. Like, I thank you. I thank you, mind and body. You're trying to preserve and protect my energy. And you are sensing that I'm tired. You're sensing I'm emotionally tired, mentally tired, spiritually tired, soulfully tired, maybe physically tired. And so you're trying to protect me by saying, let's sleep. Let's just sit here and watch Netflix. Let's tell ourselves we'll do it Monday. Well, you're listening to this most likely on a Monday. So you just got busted. We'll do this next month. We'll do this after the kids' schedule is better. We'll do this after this work week isn't so hectic. I mean, I've even had people say to me, Tiffany, I will hire you once I make more money in my business or once I'm further along in my business. That would be like saying, I will get a gym membership or I will start exercising once I start losing weight. And you may be someone who has said that. And you've got to hear yourself when you say these things. I kind of want you to even say them out loud or at least type them. So if you are, as long as you're not like operating machinery, if you're watching on YouTube, type it in comments. You can type it in your notes app. You can write it down right now. Like either write it or say it out loud, like these stories that you've said. And they can feel like fact to you. And I believe a lot of them do. But when you see things on paper or you even hear them come out of your own voice, not in your head, you have to say them out loud. This is why I'm constantly talking to myself. I am also not the most sane person. And like you see me walking around, when someone catches me in an airport, someone recognized me at my cafe yesterday, which is so interesting. I mean, it's very flattering. It's just unusual. I mean, it happens, I would say, like once a week. I can't imagine like what celebrities do. It's like, wow. Because you kind of know someone's been watching you, because I've done it to people. Someone's been watching me for a while before they've approached me. And I was like, God only knows what I look like in the wild. I mean, I think I do kind of know. It's probably not much different than what you guys see, but I talk to myself, and it might even be in a whisper. I might be like, okay, so what kind of stories am I giving myself today? And in this case, I knew I was talking to myself, and I was like, okay, that's fun. Well, you know what? Thankfully, I'm exactly who I am, no matter where you see me, where you find me, where you listen to me, where you watch me. So I don't have to worry about someone going, oh my God, she's not the same, or she doesn't look the same. It's like, no, she's just as crazy. She looks the same. Where was I going with this? I have no idea. So I need you to thank this this system of yours, your nervous system. Because the more we keep telling ourselves, I'm exhausted, I'm so tired, I'm so stressed, I'm overwhelmed, your brain, this is proven fact, this is not from my ass, your brain is then now consciously and subconsciously gathering supporting evidence for this. Oh, you're saying you're so stressed and you're so tired and you don't want to do anything and you want to run away to a remote island and hide from the world and not be bothered. So we want to protect you. We want to preserve you because that's what, right? We are, granted, we're mammals, but we are like animals in that sense, right? Like we want to make sure that we keep all systems operating. Just like your phone gets overheated, it's going to shut off, or your computer gets overloaded. You see the spinning wheel come up, right? It's like, okay, we need to reset here. We need to restart. We might need to be turned off for a while, whether it's totally true or not. So the great news here is if you tell yourself a different story, your mind, again, consciously and subconsciously, will go to seek and search, like scan everywhere to find supporting, confirming evidence to that. So the first thing that I want you to do is shift your story. Now, I know some of you are going, girl, I am tired. Like, I'm not going to tell myself I'm like busting with energy. Well, I don't need you to go and lie to yourself. Like, that's not going to work. Okay. That's like stuffing a square peg into a round hole. Eventually it'll work, but there'll be a cost. We're not doing that. So, using me as a live example, do I want to go work out today? No, I absolutely don't. Genuinely, do I feel tired? Do I feel taxed? Do I feel, even you can hear my voice, I'm stuffy, all the things. Yes, that's all true. But let's focus on something else. My heart is so full. So my heart is so full. And I do feel run down. Okay, how can we switch that? I need to replenish my energy. Do you see how I did that? Focus on what you need to replenish. And if you're like, that's a big word, Tiff. I don't want to use replenish, right? I'm going to focus on replenishing my energy. I'm going to focus on restoring my energy. It's time to restore my energy. It's time to refresh my energy. If you're stressed, it's time to soothe my nervous system. It's time to calm my nervous system. It's time to recalibrate my nervous system. If it's about like you're just like frenzied and overwhelmed and it's all too much, I need to focus on regrouping. I'm going to focus on regrouping. I need to focus on resetting things. So change that language, and you might need to put it on Post-it notes. You might need to put it on your desktop screensaver. You're going to have to keep shifting, because whatever story you're telling yourself, even if there's part of it that's true, right? You're going to get a lot of confirming mirrored evidence. Well, we don't want confirming mirrored evidence of overwhelm and stress and exhaustion, do we? I want you to have confirming evidence that I'm getting refreshed. I'm focusing on refreshing myself. I'm focusing on restoring myself. I'm focusing on nurturing my body. I'm focusing on calming my nervous system. I'm focusing on recalibrating. We want to see mirrored confirming evidence of that. That's step one. Okay. So what I did this morning when I woke up, I was like, oh my God, really? And I also need to record a podcast episode. And not that I don't want to be here, but that's more effort. And I was like, and then I started down a path of, well, your brain isn't really firing on all cylinders. Maybe you should do this later. Maybe you should do this after your workout. Maybe you should do this after coffee. And I already started pushing it. Sneaky procrastination, man. Procrastination is like dealing with a narcissist. It gaslights you. It's shady as fuck. It's very alluring. It can be believable. It causes lots of confusion. It lies. And because of the work I do, and I diligently make a point of it, I was like, okay, I see what I'm doing. We're just doing it now. That's what we're doing. We're going to do it now. It's not my desire and mental bandwidth and all the scenarios being right in the day. It is not going to change an hour from now, 5 hours from now. In fact, it could even be worse. So we might as well just do it now and give the best that we got and trust that that is more than enough. I didn't know which topic for the rich people's best kept secrets it was, because if this is the first one you've listened to, there's one on money, right? On Wednesday, we're doing self-confidence. So I wasn't sure what the topic was. And I was like, well, let's go. I just took a step. So just take a step on something. I looked to see, and it was motivation. And I thought that was funny, right? Like, and I went, okay, I can use myself as an example. Perhaps this is why I'm feeling this way. Perhaps this is why all of this is set up this way. So I can use myself as an example in real time. So this shit is actually realistic and not, you're not hearing from someone who has energy boosting out of them at all times, or someone who has like a team and a staff of 17 people and a chef. And you're like, okay, like, it needs to be relatable. That's what I want all my advice to be, because anything else, like I said earlier in the intro, is just going to make you feel crappier about yourself. And then you're going to be in those thoughts, and then you're going to attract mirrored evidence to reinforce those thoughts. So I laughed, which is always a good distraction. So we laugh at yourself, like in a fun way, like, oh, there's that procrastination narcissist hitting me again. Aren't I fun? And I went, okay, I'll have a few sips of coffee. We're going to do it. Period. End of story. So here is something that I've coined, and I used to talk about it more. I'm not sure why I got off on not talking about it, but it's important for you to hear. It's something I call the after effect. This is my biggest trick in how I manage my procrastination, the fact that I'm a type Z person for lazy. I'm not a type A person. I'm not a morning person. There's a lot of things I'm not, okay? But something I am is I'm determined to make sure I figure out a way in order to get what I want, so I can have the lifestyle and the freedom I want, so I can help the people I want, so I can have the cash I want, so I can luxuriate how I want. Because the stuff I want, I'm going to make sure I get it, but I'm also going to make sure I get it and work with what I've got. You've got to work with what you got. Everyone's got different things. They've got gifts and they've got flaws. They've got crap and they've got amazing things. We all have got stuff. So we got to work with what we got in order to get what we want. And it's possible for everyone. There's that motivational speaker. I don't remember his name, so my apologies, who has no arms and no legs. This guy's like married to an attractive woman. He makes a crap ton of money, like motivational speaking and that kind of stuff. It's like, this guy found a way to get what he wants. I think that you'll be okay. I think you can find a way. You know what I'm saying? There's always a way, but not everyone's way is going to work for you. So again, take what you like and leave the rest with what I'm sharing, but I have a really good feeling this is going to resonate. This is the last week, by the way, in order for you to get my Make More While Working Less guided workbook course for free. That's it, because it's the final week of September, which is my birthday month. So that will be ending. Then we'll be putting them out and you can buy it. Or you can leave an Apple Podcast review of the show, leave your name or Instagram, TikTok handle in the review, take a screenshot of it, and email it to us at support@projectmewithtiffany.com. You can swipe up or go to the description on YouTube, and those simple instructions are right in the show notes. If you don't know how to leave an Apple Podcast review, just Google it, because it'll give you visuals. So that's much easier. Now, for those of you all who are on Spotify or listening on other platforms, what I would be open to doing, if you did a video post in your Instagram stories and tagged me and then emailed us, I would be open to also giving this to you for free. This is specifically for Apple. So I do want to make sure you guys feel included, and I will make that happen. I've got to show you, and you have to be obviously on YouTube to see this. How fun are these stickers? So I had these made to make more, work less for the guided workbook. So I don't know. I just wanted to show you. It gets to be fun. And then these can go on like your Stanley mug, or, you know, how I have on my like ugly truck driver's mug that I'm obsessed with. Put it on here. You can put it somewhere to remind yourself, make more, work less. It's that simple, to remind yourself that it's possible. This is also the final week of my ProjectME Posse business coaching membership sale. So it's my birthday bonus sale where you get my $297 content creation made easy course bundle for free when you sign up. And this is where you get weekly live trainings from me, a membership portal of over 300 live trainings, live Q&A. I bring in special guest experts for $3.33 a day. There's an annual option, membership option, which is by far the best value. And that in of itself will get you to show up because you're putting more skin in the game, which is a fun trick that I do for myself. Like if you know spending $3.33 a day isn't going to be enough money to get yourself to show up almost every week for those trainings, then maybe you need to put more skin in the game and commit to the year option, because you're really sending a signal to yourself and the universe. I'm in it. I'm joining for a year. That option and both options, you get the bonus. This is the last time I'm doing a sale in here for a long time. When you go to the page, projectmewithtiffany.com/ProjectMe Posse, also in description and in the show notes, you go there and it says sold out. That's when you know like it's capped. So we keep this capped at an intimate size to make sure that it's not one of those memberships. It's just like thousands of people and you get lost and there's no accountability. I'm not into that. That shit doesn't work on me because I can end up just disappearing, or then I'll end up not showing up. So go do it, because these are the final spots and the last time I'm doing a sale in here for a long time. So I want you to take advantage of that, even if you have to pause this and come back. And you can also wait for that guided workbook course and pay for it. But why would you do that when you could take 30 seconds and do it now? So this whole after effect thing, this is how I get myself literally to do basically everything. How will I feel after? I'm focusing on the after effect, not on how it's going to feel during it, not on how it's going to feel going to it, but what's the payoff after? Because I want the damn cookie. I want the prize. I want the trophy. So I get focused on that. And I have to want that feeling bad enough. So in the example of me going to work out today, I know how I'm going to feel after. And I look at it like, how am I going to feel physically? I'm going to feel more energized. My nervous system's going to feel calmer. I'm going to feel stronger. I'll probably, to be honest, feel a little skinnier, a little less puffy. How am I going to feel emotionally? I'm going to be proud of myself because I did it. And I'll probably be calmer and less crazy brained because I'm not sitting there beating myself up for not going and I should have gone, and then like criticizing myself for that. So all of that stuff goes away. So I'm like, okay, it's kind of like a fun way to sell yourself on doing something. Then I ask myself this question. And this is for something that maybe it's a goal you're wanting to start. Maybe it's starting your business, growing your business, doing a podcast. You're wanting to get in better shape. You're wanting to get into find an amazing relationship. You're wanting to really learn more about improving and growing your wealth in your life, whatever that may be. I want you to ask yourself different questions. How can I create a way to make it as fun and easy as possible to do this? How can I make it where it feels fun and easy? That doesn't mean that it's not going to feel hard sometimes. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, it's not like, yay, I'm going to work out. No, I had someone say to me recently, wow, you must really love working out. You go all the time. And I said, there has never been one morning in my life where I've woken up, and it doesn't matter what kind of workout, who the instructor is, who I'm with, where I'm like, yay. But what I'm yay about is how I know I'll feel after, mentally, spiritually, physically, emotionally. So I have to ask myself, and in this case, I think I started July 5th, where I went off the rails on my health. I was not prioritizing it, paid a price for it, not cute. I can go off the rails sometimes, and I knew I needed to get it back together. So I asked myself these questions. What would get me to show up? Put skin in the game. You've got to spend money. That's why, I have a lot of amazing free resources for you. You can binge my TikTok videos. You can go on Instagram. You can binge these podcasts. There's so many ways to learn from me. And that's great. But if you're not really showing up and devouring it, and all you're doing is taking in information and you're not implementing any of the information, it's not going to work. So maybe what you need to do is actually put money on the line where you're not going to want to waste that money. Use the energy of money to energize you and make it your motivator. So I went on the hunt to look for, I wanted an in-person trainer for fitness. That works better for me. For other areas of coaching, even my therapist, I see her on Zoom. I don't have to see it in person. But when it comes to fitness stuff, I can't be in my house. I'm not going to work out on my own. So you got to know like some things that before that like don't work for you. I've got to be out of my house in a different environment in person. So I found a great trainer. And it's not like it's like busted the bank, but it needed to be enough money and the right personality type of a coach where it would get me to show up. And he's a no bullshit person. He's a nice person, but not that nice, not too nice. You're 1 minute late. He literally, you walk in the door and he's like, noted. Or we'll say something like, oh, or is there not a parking spot? Your ass does not want to be late. I have like a timer set on literally recording this so that I make sure I have enough time. Oh my God, I can't make this up. Okay, I can't make this up, and I don't want to go off on a tangent, even though you guys know me to do that. But I literally manifested seeing my inner child reflected in real life during my mastermind. And these two little girls, and I'm sharing the behind the scenes of my Instagram stories, so you need to go look. And I will go into detail on this on the episode I do. And I was like, God, I wonder if those like two little girls that were here that reflected literally my inner child and the other people that were in attendance, are they tourists? Are they just vacationers? Because I live in a spot that people travel from all over the world to vacation in. And I was like, because I've never seen them ever before. Literally outside my window just now, the mom, the two little girls, and the dad just walked by. That was wild. I digress. That was worth me doing that. I manifested that because there was a little part of me this morning, because I'm still so blown away by what happened. And I'm not like purposely trying to keep you in suspense, but I want to stay on track here. I was like, did I imagine that? Because it was so wild. I almost didn't want to believe that manifestation, that like sign from God, sign from the universe, because it was probably the most profound thing that's happened in the top 3 in my entire life. And there was God, there was the universe going, no, what you saw was real. And it just happened literally while I'm talking to you live. That's wild. Anyway, whoa, I'm a little shooketh, I got to tell you. So I made sure that the personality type of the person wasn't going to enable me, but also wasn't going to be like abusive about it, that I'm spending money. So it's someone I respect, someone who I'm not going to want to disrespect by canceling, someone who's not going to buy into my shit, my excuses. Someone's going to push me, but also has enough knowledge to not push me in a way that actually is not good for my health mentally or physically, and where I have skin in the game and I'm not going to waste that money. This is why I've coached over 150,000 people worldwide, because I am this to so many people. Because I coach with love, but I'm also not going to enable you, and I'm not going to let you go back into your bullshit, but I'm going to do it with love and do it with kindness. And people follow through, because you don't want to not follow through on me. I'm not going to pacify you, right? So I made sure that I had a session set up today. So I also set myself up to make sure I had a session set up today, not at 7 a.m. I made sure it was at 10 a.m., right? I wasn't trying to like absolutely torture myself. Do I still want to go? No, but I want to go for the after. I'm not going to cancel because I would end up losing a session. He would end up making a comment about it. Like, okay, I see this isn't a priority for you today. And I'm like, oh boy, I don't like that. I don't want to hear that. So this is the perfect type of person. And I've set it up so that I've made it easy for me to show up and very hard for me not to. I want you to hear that again. How can you make it easy for you to show up and follow through and hard for you not to? Now, the fun part. I made sure this was someone's personality that was fun I want to work with. He blasts music in the gym. This isn't a big box gym. It's his own gym. I like the people that he attracts. The music is blasting. I like being sarcastic and joking around during a workout. And is it like the most fun thing I've ever done? No, but it's as fun as that can possibly get. I make sure that I drink some pre-workout, get myself hopped up on that. I have cute workout clothes. That delights me. Sometimes I'll make little plans after. I make a little deal with myself, like, oh, you can go to Whole Foods after and get your favorite overpriced green drink. Make little deals with yourself, just like many of you have or have watched other people do with children. So setting yourself up that way. This is why I created the posse. This is why, and I will be putting out applications, will be opening for my fall 2-month private business coaching program. I'm only going to take a couple of people. That's the highest level way to work with me. But the best place to start is in that posse. So ask yourself those questions and be discerning about who you hire. Who do you need? What type of person do you need that you can't manipulate? That someone has to care for you to not manipulate them, because they have to care enough to not enable you and not allow your bullshit. And what will make it feel fun and easy for you? I just used myself as an example, but it's really fun to work with me. If it's not fun, you're not going to want to consistently do it. It's going to get old. It's going to be miserable. And yes, it gets to be this simple. You might need to listen to this episode again for it to really sink in, but share this with a friend who struggles with procrastinating, someone who struggles staying focused, someone who gets mad at themselves because they've not followed through on doing this, that, or the other thing. This is really going to help you. Even if it's a difficult conversation you need to have with someone. Focus on the after. And you're like, well, how can you make a difficult conversation more fun? Maybe it's you have hype up music prior to doing it. Maybe you have a reward you've set for yourself for after, right? Like, oh, I get to go get a massage, or I get to go to my favorite sports bar, or I get to go buy myself this thing that I've been wanting, and use that reward system. There's a reason why this works so well on kids and teens. You're a kid inside, your inner child and inner teen works with that stuff too. So I want you to use some of that on yourself. Go write that review so you can get my Work Less While Making More workbook. It ends this week. So you just have days. And then the posse's at projectmewithtiffany.com/projectme posse. I would be honored to be the person to hold you accountable, to show you the way, to show you how it can be simple and having a lot of fun at the same time. That's how I structure everything. Otherwise, you're not going to do it. And then you're going to go into more shame. And we don't need any more of that in our life. You're restoring your energy. You're increasing your wealth. You're choosing to focus on making a better lifestyle for yourself and delighting in it. You are regrouping and refreshing your thinking around money, around your life, around your relationships. And you're going to take the best care of yourself as possible. And then have your actions match up to that. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you so much.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.